So let's focus on football since there's way more basketball news. So USC wins 38-21 on the road. Also winning on the road, the Los Angeles Chargers beat Seattle. Nice little defensive stop right there at the end. And of course they're mentioning Desmond King now playing his 5th round status. Of course, because I had him as a 1st round pick. Now the Chargers released their kicker and they brought back Michael Bagley. Get into that more. A few more scholarships for USC players. We'll get into that. What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So USC gets a victory on the road at Oregon State, 38-21. They were supposed to do that anyways, but of course there's a lot of tension heading into this week, especially with Coach Clay Helton being on the hot seat and everything like that. But he was doing the play calling and they looked a lot more balanced, especially the rushing game went over 200 yards, I believe. And everything was looking great. A lot of guys, especially newer players or younger players, got some playing time and were scoring and doing well. Defense looked solid at times, especially getting a lot of sacks. But hopefully it can continue because the next 3 weeks are against their rivals at home for homecoming against Cal. And then they go on the road, which is not really, but just to Pasadena, to UCLA, and then they have Notre Dame to finish the season. So hopefully we can play spoilers to them if they're still in the college football playoff top 4 as they are at the moment, top 4, top 3. So hopefully we can do that. And then the LA Chargers went on the road as well up north and got a W against Seattle. Of course, you all know head coach Pete Carroll of Seattle Seahawks was the ex-USC head coach when they were really dominant, but tough we had to give him that loss. The Chargers had a pretty nice lead. I forget if it was 10 or 14 points in the 4th quarter, but of course, let things get out of hand and they had to, play for the very last second. Literally the last play, because I think they called a penalty on the Chargers, and there was one more play for an untimed down, so it was pretty tense from what I saw, and luckily they were able to get the W and not have to go into overtime. So they're either 5-2 or 6-2, I don't remember, but just know that they're on a pretty nice game-winning streak right now, and hopefully it can continue going forward. And this one, either Twitter or I don't know what they are, got off a Bleacher Report. We're saying that Desmond King, the cornerback out of Iowa, I believe he's in his 2nd year, that he's playing a lot better than where he was drafted in the 5th round. Obviously, they don't listen to me because I had a 1st round grade on him. I thought he was something special and he could be something special in the NFL. I wanted them to draft him in the 1st round. But of course, no one listens to me, and now since he's not already getting paid like a 1st round player, he's gonna want to get paid when his contract is up within a year or 2, and they just screwed themselves out of that because now it's gonna go to another defensive player. But really well worth it. I really like the guy, and I knew I saw something in him a long time ago, and just great that he's doing really well. And then also the USC Trojans, they went kind of under the radar, but they gave out scholarships to a few walk-ons who are guys that made the team, but they just are still paying their way at school. And obviously USC is a pretty expensive school to attend, but they do have their football scholarships now to help them out. I'm just kind of wondering how that works out with the scholarships going forward. Like, could they have used that to offer more guys coming into high school, whether it was this year or the next year, to have extra stuff like that, or get more transfers or anything like that? But I kind of wish they would have wasted on better, more talented players if that's possible. And if not, then congrats to them. They definitely deserve it, and we'll see where this goes from there. I forgot to mention, yes, Chargers did get rid of Caleb Sturgis finally. I believe he did miss an extra point and a field goal in the Seattle game. And now they decided to bring up Michael Bagley, the other kicker they had before when Sturgis was injured, who did pretty well for them. And he was first released a few weeks ago, but he came back onto their practice squad for a reason like this. I'm just glad they made the move now, because Sturgis is obviously, a toxic environment, especially if a guy's missing easy points like that. So hopefully that solves their kicking issues, at least for this year. But I'm just surprised that they're even still winning these games when last year it kind of messed up their schedule a lot by losing these games by a few points. Oh boy, so a lot of Laker news. So Lakers beat the Mavericks, and then they held off the late charge barely by 1, but they got that W. And they went on the road to Portland, got that 4-point win. They haven't won there in like so many years. I just thought that picture was funny of LeBron, that's why I kept it in there. And then there was a nice dunk by Brandon Ingram, switching hands to his left hand, still dunking over Nurkic, who definitely gets dunked on a lot, but at least he's attempting to. And then there was this huge, where there was shouting or Magic Johnson was cursing at Luke Walton. LeBron gave Luke his vote of confidence, which is good to hear. Magic says Luke Walton's job is safe after meeting. We'll see. And then Tyson Chandler got let go or bought out by the Phoenix Suns. Will sign with the Lakers whether it's today or tomorrow. Talking about Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards with LeBron. There's a trade scenario, but I'll go deep into that. Obviously, that's way too much for him. Another guy they could look at is available, Chris Middleton. He's another shooter. Alright, so yeah, Lakers went on a pretty nice 2-game win streak against Dallas, where they barely got that win when they're winning by a lot. And then also against Portland, up in Portland, which they were struggling with just to even get a win there. They obviously lost the first game of the season up there, but they did get the W. Then all of a sudden, these news reports and all this stuff came out about the whole Magic Johnson talking secretly with Luke Walton, and apparently that happened before these 2 games. And I guess it was a sense of urgency to win, because he was telling them that they didn't expect him to be at this point. But I don't understand Magic Johnson's thinking and logic, because he was just on First Take ESPN like a week or 2 before all this news, and apparently he just said, it's going to continue to take time. That's all they've been saying for so long. Even when they sign LeBron, it's going to take time. We have a lot of great young pieces. We're not going to do something drastic like trade for somebody right away. And then all of a sudden there's this closed doors meeting with the coach, making it seem like it's his fault, when really you and the GM, Rob Pelinka, are the ones that put together this team, and most likely LeBron, because they're not going to make any moves without LeBron's say. And luckily LeBron has Luke Walton's back for right now. Of course he's going to say that, but seeing how this is going, seeing that Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka, and LeBron James did not choose Luke Walton, it was the regime before, it definitely seems like this is going to be his last season as the Lakers head coach, especially if they don't do something crazy like get past the second round of the playoffs. I mean, they just got to make the playoffs right now. It's going to be tough, but yes, a lot of crazy stuff going on in La La Land, especially for my LA Lakers, and yeah, it's pretty crazy to see. Then over the weekend, when Tyson Chandler got bought out by the Phoenix Suns, a pretty good defensive veteran out there. Don't know why he signed with Phoenix in the first place a few years ago, other than probably just for money. They're probably offering the most money, but he did mention, and all the reports are saying that he's going to sign with the Lakers, and more news came out today that he finally cleared the waivers. So, he's going to either sign today, later on today, or tomorrow. We'll have that official news whenever that comes out in a later video this week, hopefully. And then also, they're saying like trade scenarios for certain guys that would be really good with LeBron, but they're more just like guys who can either shoot threes and play defense, or just shoot threes really well. And that's like a Bradley Beal, who's really cool. I kind of prefer the point guard there in Washington, John Wall, to play with LeBron, but Bradley Beal will do just fine as well. It's just giving up 2 guys like Josh Hart and a Kyle Kuzma and a top 10 protected first round pick. Obviously, I don't think the Lakers are going to be in the bottom 10 and even in the lottery, in my opinion. So they will be able to keep that draft pick, but giving up 2 guys like that for just 1 guy, it's going to be tough unless they got a draft pick as well back, or they were to get something else like another good enough player. But we'll see how this goes. It should be very interesting. The Chris Middleton idea is really cool. I mean, the Lakers were interested in him when he was a free agent like 3 years ago, I believe, but he didn't decide to come. He decided to stay with Milwaukee and re-sign with them. But he is still getting better as a shooter. I just don't know how old he's going to be once his contract is up. So it's definitely really interesting. A lot of stuff to look forward to if the Lakers are in a frantic mode and decide to make a big trade like this, but hopefully it's the correct trade and not the wrong trade. So both Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett make the Heisman Trophy list. Also does Beanie Boatwright from USC. Ducks finally get a win after a 7-game losing streak. USC women's soccer team are 4th seed. USC women's team beat Oregon, and they beat Oregon State to sweep of the Oregon schools. USC has a victory against Cal in water polo, number 3 Cal, and they beat number 11 UC Irvine. Thought I'd try out this different angle for the end of the video. So real quick stuff, RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson, both from Duke, and Beanie Boatwright, the power forward from USC, all make the Naismith watch list, which is like the best player in college basketball this year. So hopefully they can all stay on it and compete to see who wins. Obviously, you never know. A lot of Duke players have been that recently, but they just haven't been able to win it recently, which kind of sucks. But yeah, should be very cool, very interesting to see how this season plays out. Actually, Duke plays Kentucky tonight around 6 o'clock, so that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm probably going to miss it, but definitely going to be looking at the scoreboard to see how this game plays out. It should be very fun. A lot of NBA talent in that game tonight. Then the USC women's soccer team make a 4th seed in the tournament, so they're going to play Long Beach State. I'm wondering why they made the 4th seed, because I think I had them like in a bunch of my videos when the season started, and they just seemed like they kept winning. So I don't understand how they're a 4th seed. They should definitely be 2, if not a 1 seed. But hopefully that means maybe an easier path. Maybe they got lucky. Obviously they don't have to play on the road for the first game, and the team doesn't have to travel far either. So it should be pretty interesting how that goes as well. Then the USC women's volleyball team, they took a sweep up in Oregon, so they beat Oregon and Oregon State. So now I believe this week they're gonna go up against Washington State and try to go against the University of Washington and Washington State University. Washington should be a bit harder than Washington State, but definitely if you want good seeding in the Pac-12 tournament, then you better win at least one of those games, please, ladies. And then also the men's water polo team last week, they played a pretty tough game, pretty tough opponent in the number 3 Cal team from what I can see, and they beat them pretty convincingly. So that's hopefully good news for them heading into the playoffs and all that stuff postseason. And then they did beat up on number 11 UC Irvine team, so that's good to see as well. But thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Definitely a lot of news today. Not much variety, but definitely a lot of news from certain outlets, especially from my teams, which kind of sucks because I don't like a lot of news and stuff coming out of my teams. So that usually means there's something bad, but hopefully there's a lot of news coming out from them when it's the postseason. But like I said before, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.